Yes.
Okay, perfect. While we wait for people to come in, I'm just going to start. Is the ABA Exam Academy group. It's a study group that we created in 2019. And today's section is going to be called How to Pass the BCBA, BCABA. A couple of us have passed, and we want to share our wisdom. And this is the disclaimer that we have to make everything ethical. So the BCBA exam, our group was created by and for students to earn the BCBA, BCABA certification. Most of the leaders and participants are not a BCBA or BCABA at this time. These meetings are meant to have active discussions, to collaborate, ask questions, and provide helpful suggestions to better understand the BACB 4th edition task list concepts. Due to this, it is important to know that all viewers and participants are responsible to verify the accuracy of the information being provided in order to successfully prepare for the BCBA, BCABA exam. Basically, we're all learning here. Make sure you, everything that you do in the books. Ethical considerations, refrain from sharing any BCBA, BCABA test questions during this meeting, or refrain from sharing any other mock questions that you've seen in other places, because they have very strict rules about that. If we're sharing any open resources, peer review articles or books that we do here, we always give credit to those who deserve it. And our rules are: please mute your mic. That helps with understanding. We're recording, so turn off your camera if you don't want to be shown in camera. Allow the leaders and participants a turn to speak, and make sure to be respectful. And let's try to have fun. Nadia, are you still here? Are you still here?
Yes.
Okay, Nadia, thank you so much for your patience, man. I appreciate it. So,
Yeni, we don't see your screen, honey.
For real?
I see yours. I see it.
Oh, you do? Oh,
yeah.
Wow. Okay, sorry about that.
I see it.
Okay, Nadia, so if you want to repeat what you said for fluency.
That's fine. What I had said earlier is that, you know, just like most people, and you see the long list that Yeni has put on the screen of all the available resources. That's a lot of the stuff that, you know, I used and that I purchased and spent a lot of money in. And before I found this group, I was aimlessly kind of going in circles, telling myself what great resources I had to study, but really had no direction. So I was very grateful that I found, you know, somebody suggested a study group on Facebook. And then I moved on to this one. And it was a godsend, really, because it gave me direction, and it gave me the opportunity to become accountable to other people, or at least I felt that way. And I was able to kind of get on a pick up a tempo and build up from there and study and kind of follow with the group. It gave me the opportunity to practice and learn the concepts if I didn't know them, and ask questions and just laugh and enjoy myself and kind of make it fun with these ladies to study. From there, I think that the other thing that I had mentioned that gave me a lot of help was the fact that from this group, I met some people with whom I started studying on the side in a smaller group. And some of the things that we did, of course, was take mock exams. The way we did it was that we would take the mock exam separately, and then we would meet up, and then we would kind of go question by question without reviewing the question, just saying, I got one correct, two correct, or kind of name which one we got incorrect. And then we would review the concepts on the ones that each of us had gotten wrong. Our group was only 3 people, so it made it very dynamic and easy and kind of intimate, because you didn't feel too, you know, self-conscious about whether you were getting it wrong. And that helped a lot. Also, the other big thing that we did, and I said that I wish we had done it earlier, was that in one of the groups, we dissected the Pass the Big ABA exam book, and we went concept by concept, page by page, and we just kind of reviewed. By then, because it had been at the end of my studies, you know, right before the exam, by then we had gone over the concept so much that we didn't have to stop so much in every page. But there were things that, you know, there was always a small question about, and one of the other persons would know it and would explain it. So we were very supportive to each other to help us kind of understand the concepts. if we didn't know it, we would go back and kind of, go through another book and kind of try to figure out how to understand it better. But that's one suggestion that I would give everybody, that, you find somebody that you feel comfortable with that has maybe similar learning style to yours, and then go from there to review and, just kind of support each other even more. But critically, this group is what gave me the sense of direction. So if I was doing section H with this group, then I would go and study that section on the BAS manual maybe, or I would go and take the section that was pertinent to it also on the Cooper book. And for those of you that have not read Cooper during your graduate, maybe this is a chance where you go and print out the notes. I did that. I put them in a binder, all 29 chapters of it. I also printed out the summary of the chapter. And then at the end, I made sure that I review the summaries, and then I took the quizzes for each section. And then I reviewed the parts that I got, of course, incorrect. I had purchased the FIT videos, the review, I think that's what they call it. And that gives you the opportunity to take a test before you watch the video. So it gives you your baseline to know where you are. And I saved the last one for the very end of my study. So before I took the exam, I took it to kind of figure out how much I had grown and what my percentages were before I took the exam. And that helped me a lot. And also mocks, I cannot tell you enough. Do as many, the more that you feel comfortable taking.
For the mocks, do you use ABA Wizard? Do I leave ABA Wizard here, or do I take it off?
I didn't use Wizard. No.
Okay. Do you do, you did FIT mocks?
I did the FIT, and I did, the videos, and I did the BAS videos as well, and the manual. So and as I was going through.
BAS?
No, BAS.
BAS.
Mm-hmm.
There are videos on mock?
There's mocks, and there's a manual that you can purchase. And it just goes throughout the whole task list, and it explains, and then he goes into a lot more detail on the videos than he does on the manual. The manual was available free a while back, is no longer available free. But that was very helpful, and he has a very calming voice, and FIT is several people that give you the videos, and you can see the people as like PowerPoint presentations, and but they're very, very good, and they have a lot of information, lots of visuals. So because I'm a visual learner, that helped me a lot. So
okay, so if you had to pick 3 from the list, so you would say the study group you said that passed the BCBA, you met with a small group and you talked about it and broke it down, right? That's what you said?
Yes.
And the last one would be BAS, mocks and manuals?
I think I would be torn between BAS and FIT, actually.
Okay, let's do that one anyways. So, and FIT.
Yeah, the videos.
Yeah. So here I have, which are the ones that I use. I want to know if you use them. Here on a supervision task list study group guide. That's the same one, right?
Yes.
That's the same one.
Yeah, it's the same one.
The other one is another test. This one is a mock. Do you use that mock or not really?
No.
Okay. And you didn't use this book probably.
No. Mm-mm.
Okay. And Cooper and do you use Mayer?
Yes.
Okay, Mayer and ethics books.
Bailey, yeah, of course.
But those are the main ones. Okay.
And I did a summary when I was going through the BAS videos, a summary on the ethics. And when we were doing the Zooms with this group, I had the book and I had already read it, so it was just kind of a review for me to do that. I also wrote some notes. I don't know, I feel kind of nervous about sharing them because I kind of copy from the materials, and kind of made a hodgepodge of FIT, BAS, Cooper, and everything that I read that, people would say on the Zooms, and I would add to my notes. So I have that. And that was the last thing I read before I went to take the exam. So that the only thing is that because I used, I cited other people, and I just kind of did a blanket thing. That's why I don't know if I should like post it and share it with you guys. I'd be happy to.
But that's one of the points that I wanted to talk about. You basically created your own material, basically.
Right. Yeah. So
because that's important. I noticed that a lot of people are doing that, and it's working.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that was the last thing that I read, really. It was the format was not the best, but I wasn't worried about the format so much. It really just looks like a, straight. It's just that some pages that has a lot of information, some other ones had short. So if somebody had, the time to spend it, and make it look prettier, it could be. But it has a lot of the concepts. And in some ways it can be repetitive. Because it related, to certain areas. And in them, I put notes to, like if the BAS guy said that it was on this page on Cooper, I wrote it down. Or if when I was attending the Zooms, one of you would say, at least I got it from page so-and-so, I would write it, or what section of the Pass the Big. So I put those notes in it just to help me. But I think it was like close to 60.
And the notes were organized like task list section?
Oh yeah, they're all organized. It's just it's not the prettiest because there's a lot of spaces. It's not messy at all. It's just that, some pages have a lot of information and some are shorter. So
but those are good tips for anybody who also wants
that's the thing that helped me. And I started it, I think I had seen that somebody had some questions like that on the other website on Facebook, the ABA study group. And I was going to use the one they had there, but then I started creating my own. So I would attend the Zooms and I kind of started backwards, kind of like we were going, because when I joined the group, I forget if we were J or what section we were doing. I think I joined last February. And so whatever section we were on at that time, that's what I started. And then I went backwards. And then I started, doing the BAS and just kind of going in order to fill in the gaps until I caught up with where we were in the Zooms and completed it all the way to FK. So it's all there.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Marta. We appreciate your time.
Well, you're welcome. Just don't stress too much about whether you were going to pass it. The one thing that helped me, it gave me a lot of guidance and peace of mind was the BAS reassured a lot and said, don't focus on what you don't know, focus on what you do know and go from there. So try to build it up, learn a little bit every day, and just stay positive. You can do this. And when you go and take that exam, don't think of 160 questions. Just think of the one question in front of you. If you don't know it, pick the best answer, flag it, and move on to the next one. Don't waste your time. That would be my advice. A very wise person, Laura, told me before I went to take the exam, your goal should be 40 questions per hour. And you have 4 hours. So on my whiteboard that I received, I marked, the time that I started, and I said, okay, by the time that I finished 40, I looked just how much time I had used of my first hour, and I was ahead 2 minutes. I picked up a lot of it was a lot quicker on my second hour, and I had picked up like 10 minutes. So I knew I had those minutes at the end to go back and review my flagged ones. Don't flag everything, only the ones that you're not 100%. Flag them and move on, but leave them with an answer so that you don't feel overwhelmed if you don't have an answer. And then just focus on that, go back at the end and do your best. And you have the chance to write a comment. If you're not certain because it's an ethics question, my advice to you would be describe why you were picking the answer that you did. That's what I did for at least 5.
I had no idea we had the opportunity to do that.
Yeah, there's a section where you can click on your answer and you can write a comment. And I did for at least 5 of them. And I think most of them were ethics. So just so you know, you can write and say, why did you pick that answer? And I think, honestly, that's what I think helped me. So just throwing it out there, answer your question if you're not, because, we know that when we take the mock test, we always see 2 answers, that are better choices. When that's obvious to you, but there's a little fine line there. If you're not, comfortable, explain what you chose. And there is an opportunity for you to write a comment on it. Pick your
Perfect.
answer and say why.
That's an awesome tip. I've never heard that tip.
Yeah, and somebody had told me, oh, don't bother, they don't read them. But after I took it and I was telling a friend, you know, I spent the time and I wrote comments on it. I don't know if I'm crazy. And she said I did the same thing. And so I don't know. I mean, I passed it on my first try. I think just go there, go confident, and give it your best shot. It's all you can do. But don't feel overwhelmed that, you know, pace yourself now, do these things now, and just don't waste your time. Just know that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and you're going to have to work your butt off, but then, you know, it'll be all worth it. So
thank you so much. We appreciate it.
good luck, guys, and you got this, okay? Thank you so much to everybody in this group. I really couldn't have done it without you, and you gave me good direction, so I'm forever grateful, and I wish
we're so happy you passed, and the first
thank
one,
you.
great
Thank you.
accomplishment.
And the same to you. You passed it as well. So
I know.
it's great. It's a great feeling. So you can do it, and write your notes. And if you need me to help you with something, just let me know. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Nadia.
Okay. Take care. Have a nice evening.
Thank you. Okay, guys. So now we have Lara. Are you still here?
I am. Nadia said it all. I don't know what to say anymore. I thought that we were at like a radio interview.
Well, but you know what? That's the idea, because it's not just one person giving. That's why I wanted to invite you guys, because it's not just one person giving their tips. It's everybody. And when we collect the data, we see there's a pattern of things that are working.
Yes, I agree.
So we're gonna do basically the same thing. Do anything that you want to say, and then let me know the ones from here you want me to take off, and the ones you want me to add, and basically give me like the 3 or 4 most important ones that you couldn't live without, basically.
Okay. So what I did first, hi everyone. I'm Lara, for the people who don't know me. I passed this last May. What I did is I bought, like, my work, bought all the course for Pass the Big. So I received the book, mock exams, and like for every week, and flashcards for fluency. And I attended their course. It was helpful, very helpful, honestly, because we would go over the questions, the mock questions, and they would explain in detail why this answer is the right one, why the others are the incorrect ones. So that was very helpful. So I wrote everything down, and later on, when I was doing the mocks, I was able to go back and look at the answers and the explanations, and I had this. So that was very helpful. Honestly, the flashcards, some people will learn with those, what is it called, SafeMeds, or the flashcards?
Yeah, SafeMeds, I think.
Yeah, for me, because of my learning style, it wasn't very helpful, and I would write down everything on the back for me to remember, because I wanted to read. But I'm such a detailed person that I would end up writing the entire book on those cards.
The same
so
thing for me.
Yeah, so for me, it was a waste of time, honestly. But I'm not saying it doesn't work for others. It might, not for me. What I did too, it's because I was studying, but I wasn't focusing much. And here I parked. I wasn't focused much because of the workload, because I'm a mother of 2 little ones, because I have the housework and everything. So before the test in May, I took May off from work. And I was at least able to really have to get rid of half of the stress in my life and just to focus on the exam. One of my supervisors told me, Lara, you know a lot, you know everything. You just need to get practice answering mocks. So what I did that month is that all I did was just one mock after the other, one mock after the other. Even if I did it with one group, I would do it with the other 2. So that was one thing that I recommend to everybody. Do mocks as much as possible, because the more you answer questions, the more you will have that fluency, the more you will have that analytical thinking that's going to come without even thinking. It's going to be natural. So something else, I would hear everybody saying, hey, find a buddy to study with around me in the area, or no one was able to. We live far away. We couldn't get together. They didn't want to do it through like WhatsApp or FaceTime. So it wasn't possible. Then I saw on Facebook, Damien was like, okay, I'm making my study group. Would someone join? And I'm like, let's try it. I've never believed in this in groups, honestly, on Facebook. And I'm like, oh, too many people. Each one is gonna say a different opinion. They're gonna confuse me, blah, blah, blah. But then I'm like, no, let's join. So I did. And I think it was one of the best decisions I made. It was at first, and I'm sure a lot of you have felt that, at first it was a little bit overwhelming receiving all those messages on WhatsApp, but then seeing everyone like studying, everyone wanting to pass, wanting to know all the details, like pushed me to study more or to look for answers. Like someone would post something, let's say, what does positive reinforcement means? And then I would give the answer, but then I'm like, okay, I know it. I'm gonna type it back. I want to make sure I'm saying everything correctly. So I would go back to the books, read it, and then type the answer. So that helped me look into more details. So believe me, you're gonna benefit a lot from this group. And like Nadia said, based on all, like when we started making small groups for mocks, you would know which person has a very similar like learning style as yours, and it would be very helpful to be in a smaller group to focus better. If that's like, for me, that was very helpful. What else? So I also bought the BAS. These videos were very helpful. Short, straight to the point. I mean, I'm not saying they're enough. Don't make it your only resource, but it was a nice summary. The guy who was talking had a very like soft voice that would keep you engaged, and the way he answered the questions and dissect them and explained to you each answer was very helpful. Like during the test, all what I was thinking of, like every time I would come across a question that I would doubt, I would remember him saying all the answers are in the scenario. Just look at what you have in the scenario, look at the answers, and compare, and like compare and contrast. See what information you have in the answer that is in the scenario. So that was very helpful.
Lara, let me ask you a question. So the BAS is videos and mocks, or just videos and study?
No, videos. Honestly, the packet that they have, the study notes, is it called?
I think so.
I personally didn't like it much. I didn't read it. I started reading it, but I stopped. I didn't like it. Okay. It was completely different for me. It was completely different than the other books I was reading. That's why I'm like, okay, I don't want to get more confused. The videos were very helpful. But for me, not the study notes. I didn't read it. I printed them, but I didn't read them, honestly. During that month, I didn't do much reading. Past the Big, I only read it like when I would have to present a section or have to do in my presentation. I would go back, read about those the section like in Past the Big, and of course Cooper and Mayer. Mayer, I read it when I was doing my master's, and I still had notes all over it. Cooper also, but I didn't read them again from start.
Mm-hmm.
Only when I would. But what I was doing when I would do a mock, and like the questions that I wouldn't get, or if in the question there was a term that I wouldn't remember, I would write them all on a paper. Like I would make a list, and then I would go back to each term or concept and look for the answers in Cooper and Mayer. I didn't go to Past the Big, because Past the Big at the end of the day is a summary of all this, right? So when I didn't understand it or I didn't know what it was, I needed to go and look into details to read about it. So I would go to Cooper and Mayer and read about those terms. Something else that is helpful when you do mocks, do it with a small group, like 3-4 people, and discuss the answers. That helped me a lot. Like doing the mocks, answering, we would sometimes answer them together on a Zoom, or we would do the mocks and then meet to discuss the answers of which one we got wrong and why we got wrong. So this discussion, the explanation we got from others, or looking, like doubting each other and looking in, like in the books, looking for the answer, this helped a lot too. Did I cover everything, Yeni? Did I say?
Yeah, I think so. Let me just double check
The mocks that I got, I had passed the big, and I had made copies so that I don't always have the answer on them. I had a lot of them. I got them from Facebook, from different groups, in their files. I had some that my colleagues at work shared.
Mm-hmm.
So I did everything, and that was one of my supervisor's advice. Just do mocks, just do mocks. A month before, all you have to do is mocks, mocks, mocks. And it really helped.
All right, let me just double check the materials of the resources. Is the group Cooper, Mayer, Bailey, right, for ethics? Past the BCBA, you took the class and the manual. And ABA, you used ABA study group, right? Because you used Bill's visual. Do you use?
I didn't look at Bill's visuals.
Okay.
I heard a lot about them. I printed them. No, I didn't print them.
But you did the mock and Celia's. Did you do Celia's?
I did.
You did. Okay. And I remember you did Bill's mocks with a small group. I was there, and Yeni. And BAS.
I mean, Bill's mock are straightforward and easy. This is a good mock, just for you to know if you know the concepts.
Yes.
But if you want mocks that would make you think, more like scenarios, you have to look for different ones.
Yeah, that's true. Did you do the ABA wizard?
I did it on and off whenever I had time, like between clients. I'm waiting. I would do questions, and I did it when I would be stuck on one concept that I wouldn't like. It wouldn't go into my brain. So I would go on ABA Wizard on that section and just answer the questions one time after the other.
Okay, perfect. Do you do FIT videos and mocks or no?
No.
Okay. Perfect. I think we got a lot of information. Thank you, Lara.
You're welcome. Let me tell you, I did BDS. I didn't finish it all. For me, it wasn't my learning style. I didn't benefit much, but I hear a lot of good things about it. So make sure, like, we're going to tell you what we did. But first of all, make sure to know what's your learning style. Don't spend money here and there just because you heard it's good. Make sure you're aware of your learning style and from what you would benefit the most. Okay, and don't stress out. I know we hear a lot of myth about that test. It is not easy. It's a long one, but once you feel comfortable and you know the concepts and you just focus on the scenario that is in front of you, trust me, you're gonna be doing really well. Nadia mentioned that I told her to and I think I said it to many others. Like what I did is I went inside, I wrote down, how much is it? Is it 240 minutes? The 4 hours? Well, yeah, 240 minutes. And so it was a countdown for the minutes, but I was counting up for the questions. And this way I could track how fast I'm going or how slow and where do I need to speed it. I also, once I got in, because I didn't want to panic later on, I wrote everything that I might doubt. Like, so I wrote the positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement. I drew, I'm a visual learner, so I drew charts saying, okay, under negative reinforcement, there's this, and that. Under positive reinforcement, there's this, and that. Positive, not all of them. So I wrote everything that I might need later, and I don't want to start thinking about it and doubting myself. So I wrote all of these on that whiteboard, the IOAs, like simple ones, so that later on, if I was panicking, because I know myself, I would forget everything. I made a silly mistake on stimulus response. What was it? Whatever. It was a straightforward question that I knew the answer, but I was panicking and I got it wrong. I left and I checked the book and I'm like, oh, silly me. I knew it. So just make sure not to panic. You're gonna do great. Do whatever you can and do the best you can. And I'm sure you're gonna pass.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Lara. Those were great tips. And
let me know if you need any help. Like, I know I had mocks that had answers on them, and they were really good. But I'm like, okay, if I see the answer, I can't figure out. And it was a lot of scribbling all over, and I didn't have time, honestly, to erase and make copies and do it again. So it was more of a waste of time. So if any of you have those mocks, send them to me. I'll erase everything for you. I'll block out everything and send them back to you so that you don't waste that time.
That's so sweet.
Send them to me. I'll do them for you.
So funny. That's so funny. Oh my God.
Yeah, because we receive mocks from everywhere, right? From friends, from colleagues. Some have written on it. So some are old, some are new. Some concept you won't find them in Cooper. You'd be like, oh, where did they come from? But Cooper again was since 2007, and I believe a lot of things happened after that. So don't panic. And just focus on the task list. Study what's in the task list, because this is what they're going to ask you on. Yes. And make your own notes. It would be helpful to have others' notes, but you might not understand what they mean by what they're writing, and you might get more confused. So if that would help you, make your own notes.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
I hope it was helpful, and good luck, everyone. And we're all here to help you and to help each other. I'm still learning, and you're always going to feel that, oh, you still don't know this or this information, or you're missing something. You're never going to know everything 100%. But this doesn't mean that you're not going to pass the test.
That's
right, Yeni?
Yeah, there's no way you can know 100%. That's why you get out of the test and you really have no idea.
Exactly. Okay. I hope it was helpful. Good luck, everyone.
It was, Lara. It was a lot of information. I tried to write things down. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Of course.
Thanks, Lara.
Oh, you're welcome. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Okay, guys. They gave us a lot of information. I also have Daphne. Thank you, Daphne, for being here. We have 5 minutes left. We can start talking and then stop and start again. It's as you wish, Daphne. How do you?
Yeah, that's fine. I'm going to be really quick regardless, because I think we all use very similar stuff.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. I am a BCBA, and I tested in February. So I was part of that pool of people who hated the board because the questions were very hard. Not necessarily hated, but, I was frustrated with the board. The test was hard, but thankfully I passed. So basically what I used was this group specifically. Like, I'm someone who, again, like I think Lara mentioned, I hate working with others because I'm very independent and I hate relying on other people. But I decided to give it a try because why not? Nobody else at home understood what I was going through, and I needed a group of people that were going through the same process and I could vent out to. And this was kind of a group that I found that in. So what I used was Pass the Big ABA, only the manual. My supervisor told me that she told me the videos weren't worth it, and I listened to her, and I only did the manual, which for me was very, very crucial in my studying. I took notes and I highlighted things that I didn't understand. I used also BAS, but only the mocks. I didn't buy anything extra, just the mocks.
Not the study guide, right? Not the study guide?
No, not the study guide. The study guide I was using after my exam. So I did that. Those are honestly my two biggest ones. I did one of the fit mocks, and that's because one of my friends said, she was like, do it. And I did I think it was like part B or like the second one. But I only did one of those. And I did ABA Wizard app, and that is it. I also highly recommend, whether it is someone you find here or like from one of your classes that you took, use a study buddy. One of my friends from grad school, we both went to Ball State and we were taking the exam at the same time. I reached out to her. I was like, hey, you haven't seen me in like forever. We haven't talked. I need a study buddy and somebody to vent out to. I can't stress that enough. Like, have somebody that you can tell how frustrated you are, because I can't tell you guys how many times I cried because I get really stressed and I get really overwhelmed. And I cried to her and I was like, I just can't do this. And she was there kind of to validate my feelings, because it is a hard exam. It is something that, you know, your career depends on it. A lot of people can't get a job or that raise that they need because they don't have that certification. And I can't stress like how frustrated I was by that. Especially because a lot of my supervisors had to take it twice. So I was kind of like, oh, that's when I'm destined to take it twice, which isn't always the case. So again, obviously, like, I thought very negative about myself. I can't stress enough, like, not thinking like that. But if it is you, like, if you're like me and you can't help but stress and just be very pessimistic, take time to yourself. I know, like, a lot of people are like, oh, I haven't hung out with my family in months because I've been studying. It's not worth it. And it honestly isn't worth it. I think like the week before my exam was a day after my 25th birthday. And that weekend I went out, I had a couple of drinks with my friends. I went to a concert and I didn't touch a book because I said, you know what I know, I will know, and what I don't, I won't. I also used, I used Rogue ABA Audios. Her voice was super annoying, no offense to the Rogue ABA lady. But like, the fact that her voice was annoying to me, I could remember things. So I was like, oh, she said it this way. Like, that's how I remembered it. So that was something that I used. Yeah, that was basically it. Oh, I also am the person who's like posting on the Facebook group the questions. Writing my own questions also helped a lot because it kind of helped me know exactly what the meaning for each term was and how it applied to the situation and why the other ones didn't. So if you guys want to post on there some questions, that would be great, because then we can discuss those and see why they are. Yeah, that was it.
Perfect. So thank you, Daphne. So do you agree with the three that I highlighted, or do you want to add something else? Some other ones?
Yeah, highlight study buddy. I can't stress that one enough too. Yeah, I wouldn't have done it without my friend. Like, she really like solidified and like helped me see things that I hadn't seen in some of the mocks.
Awesome. So you also had Cooper, Mayer, and Bailey, right? It was just...
Yeah, but I didn't use those. They were confusing and I wanted to cry every single time I touched it.
Okay. Good. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And congrats to everyone that passed. Good luck to everyone else. I'm here to help in any way possible. So please message me privately, and I'm here.